asking help from. They are crooks, they are liars, they are men of Allah, they are friends of Allah. We're asking help from them. They say it is shirk. What is shirk? You understand what is the truth of shirk? Are we saying those ones they were asking help from, they are Allah? Are we saying that? Are we saying that they are worthy of worship? Are we saying that they are creator? No. So what's your problem? I know what your problem is. Same problem that shaitan has. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, now make sajda to Adam alayhi salam, meaning submit to him, meaning ask help from him. No, I ask help only from you. Why do I have to ask help from this one? This one is just made from clay. I'm made from fire. I'm not making shirk, only from you. In front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is being disobedient. So, big problem these days. Big problems these days because people don't know who to ask from. They don't know who to ask from. They don't know when to ask. They don't know what to ask. Definitely, they don't know how to ask. And why they're asking. Everybody has their own ideas and agenda very clearly. When they ask help, not from the men of Allah, not from the Ahli Jannat, not from the Ahli al-Haq, not from the Ahli Zikr, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if there's any questions that you need, any questions that you may ask, any answers that you need, ask from the Ahli Zikr. Open ayat, ask from the Ahli Zikr. They will give you an answer to that. But they have a problem with that. But they have no problems asking from the Ahli Dunya. Anything you want to ask but the Dunya, ask from the Ahli Dunya, they're saying. But don't ask help from the men of Allah, from Rijalullah. It's a big sickness now. That's why daily, the Muslims, the Ummah, is falling deeper and deeper into a mess, and they will never get out from it. Because they're asking help now from unbelievers. They're allying themselves with the unbelievers. They're not thinking and saying, ask help. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, ask help from my Prophet. And Prophet ﷺ is saying, obey your leaders. If you obey your leader, you obey me. And in another hadith, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, he who obeys me obeys Allah. He who disobeys me disobeys Allah. So what else do we want? That one is representing Allah. What problem do you have? Because you want to represent Allah now. Everyone coming up with their own ideas. The whole mess that we come is the whole idea, men's and women's now, thinking that in this Ahir Zaman, we're asking questions that has never been asked before. We're faced with issues that have never been faced before. We're so smart that no one has ever in the 1400 years of Islam, all the alims, all the scholars, all the salihin, all the tabi'ins, all the awliyaullah, they are not as smart as us. Why? Because we learn English. We go to schools. We get degrees. And we dare to ask things about Islam. People never ask all these things. Now we dare to ask because the Muslims, they have been stuck for over 800 years, 1,000 years, 1,400 years. This kind of fasad, this kind of fitna, this kind of poison has entered. Especially in the last 100 years. First, by the Wahhabi shaitans. Saying 1,400 years of Islam, it is incorrect. Khalifah Rashidin, minus that. Mostly Muslims, they have lost their direction. Muslims now, they become mushriks. And if you look at the history of Wahhabism, it is halal for them to kill other Muslims and to take their possessions. It is halal. They have shed blood not only in the presence of the Kaaba. They have shed blood in Taif. They have shed blood everywhere, saying the Ahl Sunnat. They have gone the wrong direction. They have become mushriks. That's why you hear them always quoting ayats in the Quran, using the ayats against the Ahl Sunnat, against the Ahl Tasawwuf and Ahl Tariqat. Ayats that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the mushriks. And using the same ayat to the mu'mins, to the Muslims. One shaitanic idea coming from there. And the other shaitanic idea coming from the West. The secularism, which people in the West, they are waking up to ideas of spirituality. But those ones who are looking at the West and taking the worst from the West, they become weak. And they say, well, the West went through, let me see, they went through dark ages. Muslims, did we go through dark ages? The West, they go through medieval ages. They went through enlightenment, isn't it? They went through modernism. They went through so many other things. Count how many there are. Nationalism, Renaissance, whatever you're going to put in it. The West go through all of that. Oh, Islam, the Muslims, we didn't go through all of that. We must go through all of that because our role model is the West. Because when Islam came, it didn't bring light to everywhere. We have to go through dark ages. We're still in the dark. We have to go through medieval ages. We're still in the medieval ages. So many now claiming that they're Muslim scholars are also saying this. We're still where Christianity is 1,000 years ago, 800 years ago. We're still stuck. We need to catch up, brother. That means they did not believe when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, today I perfected your religion. And I've chosen Islam for you. Islam came with perfection. They are completely brainwashed. And looking at the last 100 years, that in the worst time, never Muslims have experienced this before, saying, you see, Islam is very bad. 100 years, you see, everything is chaos. Now, we need to catch up. We need to have Renaissance, we need to have Enlightenment, we need to have modernism, we need to have everything in the space of 20 years, 30 years. We need to have that quickly. And we need to open the doors of Islam again. We need to have new ijtihad. We need to give everyone their rights according to how the West is telling us what our rights are. Not according to Allah and His Prophet. Not according to the awliya, not according to the Sahabai Kiram, not according to the Tabi'in. Whereas it's saying, women's, men's equal means everyone has to stand on the same line. Man, woman's equal means women also, they must lead the prayers, they must do this and they must do that. West is saying, not Allah and His Prophet, so we must have the same thing. So now they're going to give rights to everyone. Pretty soon they're going to say, gays also have that equality. Why we have to cut them away from us? They can also have the right to do that. So now is not the ijtihad that is open. The doors of ijtihad that is open. Is the doors of fasad and fitna is open. It has been open for the last 100 years. When the Khilafat was brought down, when there was no control, when everyone started to do and have their own opinions about everything. And we see, instead of Islam rising, Islam always rises, by the way. But the Muslim, the Ummah, the Haybat, the honor, going down, 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 and down. Because they're saying, it's not what Prophet is saying. It's not what the Sahabis they're saying. It's what the West, they taught us. Whereas he's saying, outside is not important. What difference does it make? So many now I'm hearing. Imams, they're saying. Outside is not important. You can wear suit and tie. Suit and tie imams now. Which in the old days, Muslims, they even forbidden to look like unbelievers. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, do not look like Jews or Christians. They have their own look. We're not saying nothing. Don't imitate them. During the time of the Ottomans, you don't see people imitating each other. You don't see people saying that everyone has to dress like Turks or have to be like Ottomans. Like today, everyone has to be modern. Everyone has to be dressing up the way that the fashion industry in Europe and in New York, they are dictating to us how to dress. And these woman-faced imams, suit and tie imams, they're not understanding what is that suit and tie and what it represents, especially the tie, what it represents. Because in Islam it is even forbidden for us to wear a hat. Because it prevents us from making a sajda. We lost all these traditions. People, they lost all this knowledge, but they know how to give fatwa to each other. MashaAllah. And these leaders of Islam looking like unbelievers, but they are not sincere. You know why they're not sincere? If they say it's not important, if they say it's really not important how you look outside, then why you choose to look like Europeans? You say it's not important, correct? Meaning Islamic way is not important, European way is not important. Both is the same, you say, correct? So why you chose to look like Europeans? Why you don't choose to look like Muslims and to say this is not important? It doesn't mean this is something about my iman. That means you prefer that. If you're really sincere, you say this is not important, one is the same as the other, then you're going to choose something that is going to reflect your faith. And you're not going to stop people from looking Islamic. Now we see people coming into turbans. We've come to the really last days. We come to people who started to wear turbans and dress Islamically, and they're looked on as strangers. Don't worry, those who are doing that. Prophet ﷺ is saying, welcome to the strangers. You get the salams and the welcome from Prophet. You look like strangers. Islam began strange, will end strange. You go into a masjid, dress like an unbeliever, anyone is going to say that you are strange? No. And now especially the weather is turning hot, you're going to see Arabs, number one, coming to Jummah wearing shorts. Huh? No kufi, no nothing. Forget about wearing t-shirts, which is makruh. And wearing shorts to go to Jummah to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will not dress like that to meet their boss in their work. But to meet Allah, Allah doesn't care. You're looking like unbeliever. Even Imam is not going to say nothing. No one is going to say nothing. This is, it's okay, they're saying it. But if you go there, wearing a shalwar, wearing a jubba, wearing a turban, wearing the sunnah that for 1300 years Muslims they have kept, they're going to look at you, brother, what is this new style? Subhanallah. Brother, what is this? We're not living in Afghanistan anymore, you know. Why are you wearing this? Why? They get very upset. They get very angry. Brother, you're not living in India. Some of our brothers are wearing turbans and they go to some masjids, very European kind masjids. And they say, wearing turban is Indian tradition. Yeah, Jahil. We live in this time of second Jahiliyyah, second age of ignorance. There is no knowledge anymore, there is only ignorance. It's okay. You wear that, you hold on to your sunnat. That when the sunnat, when you are wearing outside and inside, we haven't even come to the inside yet. Carrying the sunnat from the inside. Deal with the outside. Outside is simple, isn't it? If it's so simple, why people choose to disappear now? Now you go out there, if you wear these clothes, you're going to disappear. You cannot even tell the difference whether you are Muslim, Christian, or we have our own identity. But people are scared to show the Islamic identity, especially now. Because it is difficult. Because they're pleasing the kafirs instead of pleasing Allah. They're pleasing the unbelievers. If you're still carrying it, and it's difficult, understand, you are one of those that Prophet is saying, alayhi wasalam, Islam began strange, it will end strange. And hold on tightly to my sunnats, hold on tightly to Islam, because to your faith, because it is going to be like what? Fire in your hands. It's going to burn you. If you go out, you go out. Go out. Go to the masjids wearing jeans and t-shirt, not covering your head. You go to the masjid, you come out, nobody is going to look at you any different. That's not carrying your faith like it is a fire. Now go out there wearing sunnah, looking like a Muslim. You not only get fire from the unbelievers, you're going to get fire from so-called Muslims in masjids. They're going to give you dirty look, saying, we're trying to make Muslims to become more Western and you're pulling us back. This is backward thinking. MashaAllah. So, yes, we come to that situation, Jahiliyyah. We're surrounded by Jahil people. Don't go running after Jahil people. Go after those who are not afraid of their faith. What are we saying? Now, of course, even those who are halfway, they want to be Muslims, they cannot, because everything that the media is showing, those ones who are holding on tightly to traditions, they're only showing what? Terrorists, Taliban type, all the wrong type of Muslims wearing the Sunnat clothes, isn't it? To show wearing Sunnat means you're backward like these people, extremists, terrorists, giving Islam a bad name. Why they choose that? When they by themselves, they're saying the new kind of terrorists, they don't even dress like a Muslim. They are saying the terrorists that blew up the towers before they went and blow themselves up, they went to party, isn't it? In the clubs. And they look completely like Western. So why are they still showing this? Must be a different agenda there. Yes. So, we are not afraid, inshallah. We are only afraid, fearing from our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our Prophet ﷺ, afraid of what they may think. Because when we pass from this world, when we die, we have to answer to them. We don't have to answer to any unbeliever. We have to be happy with this religion. We have to be proud of this religion. We have to understand the sunnah of the Rasulullah ﷺ. If we don't, then we're going to be swayed. Anywhere the wind blows, we're going to go. Anywhere the wind blows, we're going to go. And these are the days of complete fitna and confusion that is happening, as people like to, as they like. Now, it is not according to your lineage that is going to help you. It's not according to your color. It's not according to your education system. It's not according to all these other factors that's going to save you. Sincerity will save you. Sit down and think and be sincere to yourself. May Allah increase our sincerity, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Amen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you have any questions, ask. Say.
What is Shaykh's rights on this?
It's like saying, what are the rights of Prophet on us? It's like saying, what is Allah's rights on us? Does a servant have any rights? If we're asking, what are Allah's rights on us? Allah is our creator. What rights? If we want to be a servant, Abdullah. If you want to be a Firaun, then you say Allah doesn't have any rights on me. I have rights on Allah. You're going to say that. Everyone, they are free to choose. If you're unbeliever, you're different. If you're this, you're different. But what is Allah saying? Who cares what others are saying? What is Allah and His Prophet saying? Abdullah. The highest honor for man to be Abdullah. Because they are thinking just like this. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, you become my Abdullah, I will make you a sultan. You become an Abdullah, I will make you a sultan. So, what rights does a servant have? You may say, oh, servant, I have the right to eat enough food, roof over my head, and clothes to wear. My master should provide for me. Do we have that? What are the rights of a murshid on everyone? What is everyone's right, the murids, on the murshid? If that murshid is representing Prophet ﷺ, then that murid is going to say, that servant is going to say, I don't have any rights. But if you don't want to be a murid, you don't want to be Abdullah, you want to be something else, you say, I have so many rights. I have to ask, like what we said yesterday, I'm going to start complaining. But no, that is not correct. Because now, the submission, that is the highest station that a man may reach. That is a station of complete what? In reality, you finish yourself. It's fana. It is complete sacrifice and complete love. It's finished. If you are seeking for submission, are you going to ask that question? What are the rights? Because now they have rights on us. In reality, we don't have rights over them. If you say you're looking for submission. But of course we may ask certain things. Like I said, what are the rights? Basic. When we ask for the best of this dunya in our prayers and the best of the akhirat, we're not saying the best of this dunya according to the dunya. We're saying the best of the dunya according to you, Ya Rabbi. And according to Prophet ﷺ, according to all the prophets, the best of the dunya, what did they have? Hardly clothes to wear. That is the best of the dunya. Hardly food to eat. That is the best of the dunya. Hardly a roof over their head. So which best you're looking at too? If you're looking at the best according to the media, you'll never be happy. If you're looking the best according to fashion magazines, you're not going to be happy. Never. If you look at unbelievers, it is something else. If you're looking at munafiqs, it is something else. If you're looking at believers, and what the Holy Prophet ﷺ is ordering to us, how you're going to have the best of this dunya, and you're going to not be mixed up, not be attached to this dunya, that's the time you're going to have the best of akhirah. If you're busy with this dunya, if your heart is filled with this dunya, if it's just attached to this dunya, you will not have time for the akhirah. You will not even smell the akhirah. So, inshallah Rahman, we have to ask ourselves, I'm asking myself, today, have I fulfilled the rights of my Shaykh? Meaning, I'm a murid, hoping to be, and I'm running to do the work of my Shaykh. How much of the work did I finish today? What did I do? And I'm getting up to say how much more I can fix, I can do. That one according to each other's responsibilities. That's the thing that we have to do, inshallah Rahman. Then that time, we're going to be busy with that. Definitely we're on our way, inshallah, to become servants. May Allah make it easy for us. Fatiha. Okay. Any other questions? Last one first. Okay. Yeah, say.
What's the signs that a man's barat has been accepted, that he passed the barat?
What are the signs? It's a good question. We are going to see now. It's not, the answer is not going to come immediately for so many people too. Huh? Some, because they are so stubborn and arrogant, open signs given to them, they're still not going to see. They're still going to find a lot of excuse for that. Huh? What is your intention now when the Barat night came? What is your intention? Be sincere. So many people, maybe the intention is, may I this year be better, I earn more money, I get a better job, I get a wife, I get a husband, meaning only the dunya. And if that is happening to you, maybe your barat is accepted, maybe it's not. Because the purpose of the night of barat, is it to ask Allah for this dunya? No. The purpose of the night of barat is to ask Allah for akhirat. To become a better servant, to come closer to Allah. So if your intention, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, open this way for us to make it easy for us to serve you better, you're going to check yourself. You're going to know that time. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. You're going to know, is it easier for me to run in the way of Allah? Not just fasting or making zikr. Huh? That one so many people can do also. Am I fixing myself? Am I running to look at myself closer every day to take more accounting for myself? Am I looking at myself more? Am I finding out more about myself? Am I knowing myself more? Am I checking myself more? Start from there. Don't say, we're not going to enter into so many other things. Barat, Barat came and it's accepted because Burak came to me, and then I went to paradise and Prophet greeted me, subhanallah. Went circling around the Kaaba, horses with wings, da-da-da. All those are games. We're not interested in those games because now it is hizmat. Hizmat, it is some awliya are saying higher than the ibadat. Because the Sahabe Kiram, they did not busy themselves with talking about these things. Do we ever hear? Give me one hadith or riwayat from Hazrat Abu Bakr talking about this. Burak came to him, he flew to the Miraj, he met Prophet. If Hazrat Abu Bakr is not saying, the others are not saying. But what are they busy themselves with? Remember this second Jahiliyyah. What are they busy themselves with? With the work of Prophet, isn't it? They were doing the struggle, the jihad, both small and the big one. Now there's no permission for the small jihad, armed struggle. There's no permission for that. There's no Khalifah. But the jihad al-akbar, the jihad against your nafs, the Prophet said is bigger. We can still be busy with. So are you busy with that? Are we being busy with that? Because with the jihad al-akbar, you can come closer to Allah. If you're not being busy with that, if you're not being busy with the jihad al-akbar, then it should give you an indication whether it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it easy for you or not. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if the servant intention for barat is to come closer to me, lift obstacles in front of him, make him to come to me easier. That doesn't mean now that you're going to win so much from this dunya too. It doesn't mean that. Because everyone is stuck with this dunya. Their minds is stuck with this dunya. They say, only if this dunya is good to me, then I can follow akhirat. Because they put the dunya first. So many People close to me saying, Allah putting dunya first, so we have to concentrate on dunya first. Dunya according to who? Dunya according to Ahli Jannat, like the prophets and the Sahabis and the saints. They don't place any value to this world. But dunya according to unbelievers, this world is not enough. They have to make this world to a Jannah. So, if our intention is to come close to Allah, Allah may even tighten, squeeze the dunya a little bit for us. He may. We're not asking for that, of course. But He may. But you'll find now, oh, I have more strength to overcome this. I have more power, I have more iman to jump over this obstacle in front of me more. Last year, small things, I get so upset, I get so depressed, I get so weak. But now you're seeing big things in front of me, I'm able to carry it and push it aside. Carry it and push it aside. So what is it that we want? Understand, more tests, more obstacles in front of us, higher honor we get, no? Because people no longer see the dunya as an enemy. They see dunya as a best friend. Now, if the dunya is going to offer them $1 million tomorrow, how many of us here is not going to jump up and down to be so happy? The heart is not going to beat so fast to say, MashaAllah, this is, Allah bless me. Who is going to deny this? Be sincere. Yeah, but I'm going to give for the sake of... No, those ones with the eyes and the vision, they're going to say, there is some trickery in here. Because our enemy is giving us something. There is some trickery. Let me try to find out what this trick is. I'm not going to get so excited because the excitement comes not from saying, oh, now I can do so many things for Islam. No, the excitement comes from the ego. Isn't it? Not $1 million. If you walk down the street and you see $20 on the ground, you're going to feel so happy picking it up. We are not saying now that we are not accepting anything from anyone. We are not saying now that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to give us something, if Allah is giving us something, we are going to refuse it. No, we're not saying that. But if we have the proper idea, the proper belief, the proper iman about how to use this dunya that is always under our feet, then that time we're not going to get too excited. We're going to see this as a big burden coming to us. Oh, the intelligent people are going to see a big burden. The foolish ones, you're going to get so happy. Really? If you're going to see $1 million in front of you, you're going to see what a big burden this is. Where am I going to put it? Where it came from? How am I going to use? Allah is going to question me. Isn't it? Inshallah, we reach to that level one day. That's why having a guide, now you don't have to do everything by yourself. You say this is your responsibility. This is all your responsibility. And you are going to do as you like. Because the order is coming from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, how are you going to know if your barat has been accepted? You're going to ask yourself, what I am asking for? I'm asking for akhirat. Is it easier for me to do it? Yes. Alhamdulillah. Don't even get too much excited, talk about it, nothing. Keep it to yourself, keep it secret to yourself, because there's envy everywhere. Not just amongst people, and amongst things that you don't even see. Don't pull that bad eyes. Before, maybe it's very difficult for you to make extra prayers. If I'm going to ask, who make it obligation? The murids. Obligation for them, how many times prayer? 7. Not 5. 2 extra that we're doing because Prophet ﷺ, he never left it. Now, people who are confused, or people who want to make confusion, now they can say, oh, Hoja is saying now it's increasing the number of prayers now, instead of 5 saying. No, I'm not saying that, and I'm saying to you, but people can say that. One time, this happened to me before, in front of my own eyes. Some brother, they're not coming for zikr and this and that, they have some children at home. They have to take care of children, and they're missing the zikr. And I'm saying, why are you missing zikr? I have to take care of my kids. They are sick. You have a wife, right? Yeah, right. How many children do you have? 10? 12? 20? No, 1, 2. Okay. Is it really emergency? Your kids are going to die? Says, no. I said, I have to understand now. You can leave them for half an hour. And you can go back. Of course you are going to, but understand, it's not you who's taking care of them. Allah is taking care of them. I'm not saying you disappear for days and days and days and not come. I said, don't you know? Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, when he comes, Holy Prophet alayhi salam is saying, even if you're carrying a newborn baby, drop the baby and run to Mahdi alayhi salam and take bayat. Isn't that an open hadith? And I break it down too, to make it a little bit easier for them. I'm saying, no, I'm not saying to people, now you just drop the baby. It means whatever attachment that you have, trust in Allah at that time. Shaykh Efendi even say more stronger words than that with that. I make it a little bit easy for people not to misunderstand. And I say to them, now don't say, now later behind my back, Hoja is saying, teaching all the women now their babies, drop the baby. And guess what? Guess what? That's what happened. They went to Shaykh Efendi and they say, Hoja is saying, drop the baby. He's saying, drop the baby. This is what he's teaching to the women when you are gone. You understand now? So, fitna, if you are, if you want to make fitna, you can make fitna about anything. You see the full moon, if you want to make a fitna, you can make fitna. You can say it's not a full moon. You can. So, for the murids, for themselves, they are making it. 5 daily prayers is obligation, but 2 more, they're making it obligation. The Ishraq and the Duha prayers. If you want to add more, you may. But we're not saying like obligation for everyone. No, you can make it for yourself. It's okay. Murids that are doing that. Now that is important now. So if you see yourselves now making that intention, I'm going to pray 2 rakats Ishraq because the blessings comes with that. It's like I'm making the Hajj or the Umrah. And I'm going to make 8 rakats Salatul Duha before the Zuhur time. Because everything has a zakat. Okay? The zakat of your spirituality is 2 rakat Salatul Ishraq. The zakat of your physical, of your body, is 8 rakat Salatul Duha. There's a reason for that. So if you see yourself doing that, and it's easier now, it's not so difficult, which is why if Murid is sitting down thinking, putting 2 and 2 together, this week how was I? Last week how was I? Last month, last year how was I? Now how am I? Wrong things I was doing, did I leave them? Did it become easier for me to do right? Oh, it is. Then answer will come to you. Don't say how I know my barat is going to be accepted, because so many they're going to say it's going to be accepted because you're going to have a vision. Prophet is going to come riding the burak and giving you a white piece of paper to say this is your barat. Don't. That is foolish games that people are playing. Because now you have to know yourself now. You don't need anyone to tell you. You have to know yourself. Isn't the whole idea to know yourself? Isn't why we are created to know ourselves, to know Allah and to worship Allah? That time, no one can trick you. Even if someone praises you all the way, you're going to say, no. I know myself. And more you're putting yourself down, more Allah is going to raise you. Don't think more you're going to praise you or more other people are going to praise you, more Allah is going to praise you. No. It is not. So that time, you're not going to be affected if somebody says, MashaAllah, what nur coming from your face, you're a saint. It's not going to move you. If somebody comes up to you and says, what a donkey you are. You have no adab whatsoever. You are this, it's not going to affect you too. You understand? That means you are not going to be a slave to other people. Women, mashallah, they become so strong, so equal, so liberal in these days. They have so many rights. Any of these women who are so highly educated, they know so many things. They have so much self-esteem, isn't it? So much confidence. You just go up to them and say, what happened? Today you look very fat. Oh, finish. All the whole world, dunya, akhirat is completely disappear, completely thrown to garbage, completely corrupted, completely destroy. You destroy them. Worse, you can say, what happened to you today? You look old, huh? Oh, another big... You understand now? Those things affecting them. Men's is not affecting so much, although now men's are catching up also. I'm not putting the men's out now also from this. But that is when you're living for others. If you live only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know when you're going to look beautiful. You know when you're going to look young. You're going to wake up for tahajjud. Because that is the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is descending closest to us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where He is, don't think He's coming alone. Angels, they are there. Prophets, they are there. Awliya Allah, they are there. And you wake up, you're worshipping, you're begging, you're crying, you're thinking about your Lord. And you're looking at your own zulm, looking at your own tyranny, what you've done to yourself and to Allah. That's the time when the breath of life is being blown high. The name of Allah is being blown everywhere. And you're awake and you're breathing that in. The angels, they are there and they will work on you. Although you feel really tired, for Fajr time you are so tired, you're worshipping, after Ishraq you rest, 1 hour, 2 hours, you get up, you're going to look very refreshed. You're going to look as if you have been reborn. So many men and women, you can see. That time you don't need makeup. That time you don't need to wear nice clothes to attract, which in these days, what is it? Tasatur? Tasatur, satr. Is to cover yourself, not to show yourself. The idea of covering yourself is not to show yourself to the public. Now, a new kind of fitna. Women are covering themselves to show themselves more to the public. Women, they're saying, well, like the men's going to the masjids wearing shorts. They say, no, I'm covering my awrat. Because the awrat is from the belly button to the knees, isn't it? So, it's still acceptable that we say to them, why you don't take off your t-shirt? Don't wear any shirt. Just wear something from your belly button and worship. No, that's not nice. Oh, you know what is proper and you know what is not proper. So why you don't use your logic? Now is a higher situation now. You must have adab. Your manners is going to dictate, I cannot wear this in front of my Lord. Why I'm insisting on being so stubborn? Why 1300 years we don't see Muslims, very smart Muslims now, they're thinking they only figure out only in the last 100 years. Why we don't see 1400 years Muslims going to the masjids wearing just shorts? You think they didn't know? Women's, now they're covering up. But they're covering up. It's true. Everything is so tight, they're covering up. They look naked. They wear tights. They wear tight clothes on top, showing everything. They're wearing high heels. They're wearing makeup. They're covering their hair and they're walking around and they're looking at other women who are not covering themselves, but they're not showing themselves off. They say, look at these women. They are not being religious. We are being religious. Subhanallah. There is hadith for that too. In the Akhir Zaman, Prophet ﷺ is saying, there will be women in the Akhir Zaman. They're going to clothe themselves, but they will appear naked. We come to that? No, we come to that. We come to that age now. Covering, but showing themselves more. Covering now, they're covering everything, but they're showing themselves more. Akhir Zaman. Not understanding what is mahram. They're not understanding. So, this is a big topic. We'll enter into it some other times. When there are more women here, we may speak about this. Inshallah Rahman. That should be enough. May our barat be accepted. Our purpose is to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Become better servants. If we see ourselves running in the way of Allah to become better servants, then there's a big possibility our barat is accepted. if we see ourselves, more dunya is pulling us, more we're getting tricked, more we are concerned about our desires, then that time we must put a big question mark there. Ya Allah, make it easy for us. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. Any other questions we have? Say the last one. Give the drinks. Afiyarus.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Every time I listen to Sohbet, some parts goes from one ear and out to the other. How can I fix this?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The idea is not for the Sohbet to stay in your head. The idea is for the Sohbet to go to your heart. What does that mean? It's not just to memorize or to know, but to get the main idea of what the Sohbet is teaching and to try to put it in your life. That is how it is. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First, when you read the Sohbet, you have to say Bismillah. You have to ask for Madad. You have to pray, Ya Rabbi, let me hold on to this Sohbet, and whatever is necessary for me, let me take it. If you're just reading the Sohbet like you are reading the newspaper, not much benefit will come. But if you're reading the Sohbet, what is a Sohbet? What is a Sohbet? What is a Sohbet teaching other than what Allah and His Prophet is saying? No? So if we're treating the Sohbet, the words of an awliya, like it is the word of the Prophet ﷺ, the words of Allah, meaning you're going to have respect for that, then that time it will come to you. It will sink into you. You will take it and you're going to practice it in your life. Nowadays, forget about Sohbet. They are teaching people how to read the Quran in the masjids, lying down, putting their feet up, crossing one foot over the other, going like this. This is forbidden in Islam. Do we know this? No, but people know so much. Doing this, it is forbidden in Islam too. Do we know this? So many say, I know more than you. Putting your hands, tying your hands behind your back and walking, this is also forbidden in Islam. Once you have these characteristics, it's going to affect your heart. It's affecting everything. Yeah, strange, isn't it? Very strange. Islam began strange, it will end strange. Do people know you are doing this? Which I'm seeing a lot of Pakistanis, they're doing it. Especially. I'm sorry, I'm seeing it. I don't see Turks doing that. Turks do other things. Don't say I'm Turk. They also removed from that. No, they do other. Don't worry. Everyone has their own specialty that they are doing special. Turks, a lot, they like to tie their hands behind their back and walking like a Yahudi. That is what it is. It is, if you are sincere. Now, try walking like this, more normal. Try walking with your hands behind your back. What feeling it gives to you? You must know. Suddenly you feel very, isn't it? Feeling very proud. Forbidden. You're putting hands over here, it is cutting off rahmat. So many lifestyle of Islam that we have left and we've picked up from here and there. On the one hand, we worship, we make zikr, we do things, or we do something like this. It is forbidden, especially for the men's. It's cancelling out so many things that we're doing. And this is physical actions that we're doing. The non-physical actions that we're doing, we're worshipping, we're making zikr, we're reading so much, we're doing so good. But we're getting jealous and upset and angry. It cancels out everything. It burns everything. So now, we need to take what is for us. We need to have proper manners. The words of a Sohbet, the words of an awliya Allah, I'm not giving Sohbet. The Shaykh, they give Sohbet. When the Shaykh, they give Sohbet, if we're treating it with the same amount of respect like we are reciting the Quran or we're reading the hadith, then that time benefit is going to reach to us. They're teaching Quran, you can read. Just like you're reading something from your internet, from your laptop, from newspapers. Specialty, like for example Arabs, going to the masjids, pointing feet to the Qibla, lying down and reading Quran. Huh? Doing all sorts of weird things. That now so many people, they're going to the Hajj, instead of getting good examples, they go there, they see all these people doing the wrong things, they come back and they start spreading it. They don't do it in their home countries, they don't do it in the jamis, but they see those ones doing wrong actions, they're coming back and they're doing it. Everyone is doing weird, Chinese doing weird things, Malaysians doing weird things, Indian doing weird things. We need to come back to the way of Allah, the way of the Prophet ﷺ, and not to pick up from these jahil practices here and there, or from the inside. Inshallah Rahman. Now, at the time, you are going to have the proper respect to the Sohbet. You're going to take what is necessary for you, and you're going to start practicing it, inshallah. Amin Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you have no more questions, then inshallah, I will see you soon. Have a good week. And Ya Allah, make it easy for us. Inshallah. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone to eat, except for Bayram, is forbidden for him to eat the chocolate cake. Astaghfirullah. Afiyah Rasul. Wait, it's not finished yet. Why are you rushing?